All right, this is a tutorial on getting the denominator correct when we have unlike fractions. So we had like fractions on Monday. Like fractions have the same bottom, like this whole 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. That's easy enough because this right here is just telling us what type of puzzle piece we have. And if these are the same types of puzzle piece, we can go straight across and say 2 of this type of puzzle piece minus 1 of this type of puzzle piece is 1 of this type of puzzle piece. So that's what this is doing. It's kind of like a placeholder. The number is telling us the size of the puzzle piece. In this case, a fourth is this big. It's 1/4 of a circle. Here's the rest of the circle. So you can see that this is one of these types of puzzle pieces. If I had 2 of these, it would be 2 of these types of puzzle pieces. If I had 3/4, it would be 3 of these types of puzzle pieces. And if I had 4/4, it would be the whole entire puzzle is filled in. One hole would be filled in. Unfortunately, I don't have that. So what I do have over here is I have 1/2 minus 1/4. So in other words, I have 1/2. Here's 1/2 minus 1/4, and I want to know how much is left, right? Okay, so I can see I'm taking away about half of this thing visually if I turn this into the pieces. But let's check this out. 1/2 minus 1/4. Well, what I want to do is I want to break this up into smaller pieces. Instead of having this half, I want to break this half up into fourths. If I take these halves and cut them into fourths, I can see that I have 2/4 visually. But how can I do that with the numbers? Let's try this. I'm going to say 1/2, and I'm going to try to get these things to be the same on the bottom. I can't turn this into halves because this would give me half of a half. That's too hard to figure out. 0.5 halves? I would rather turn this into fourths. The way I'm going to do that is multiply. And if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. If you do it to the bottom, you have to do it to the top to make it even. Oh man, I put a 4 there. It needs to be a 2. I want to get times 2 to make 4s. All right. So if I'm trying to get 4, I'm going to have to multiply this bottom by 2. I'm going to get 4. If I multiply the bottom by 2, I'm going to multiply the top also by 2, and I'm going to end up with 2/4. See, a half is the same as 2/4 minus 1/4. I had 1/2 minus 1/4. Now I'm saying what is 2/4 minus 1/4, and that is, well, 2 of these pieces minus 1 of these pieces is 1 of these pieces. So in other words, 2 of these minus 1 of these is 1 of these, 1/4. That's what that looks like. All right, let's go to a different problem. Let's go to this one where I have 1/2 plus 1/3. What I want to be able to do is say this piece is going to add together with this piece. This is a third, and this is a half. Right. They don't fit together right now. These do not fit together. Uh-oh. So what do I have to do? I have to get these to become the same type of piece. How am I going to do that? I can't turn halves into thirds, and I can't turn thirds into halves. I'm going to multiply them together. So to get to that number, whatever 2 times 3 is going to be, I'm going to multiply the halves on the bottom and the top times 3. This will give me 6ths on the bottom. And this 3 I'm going to have to multiply by 2. So let me start. This is this 1/2 is going to become 3/6. Boop, boop. There we go. This 1/2 just became 3/6 plus 1/3. So 3/6 plus 1/3, and my 1/3, I'm going to have to get 6th also. To get 6, I'm going to have to multiply by 2. If I do that to the bottom, I'm going to also have to do that to the top. So I've got my sixth. Excellent. And we'll make sure that these are separate things so that we don't get confused here. Multiply across the bottom. 3 times 2 is 6. Multiply across the top. 1 times 2 is 2. And now I can see that, boop, 1, 2, 3 sixths plus 1, 2 sixths is going to be 5 sixths. But let's just bring this down to here, and I'm going to say 3 sixths, 3 of this type of puzzle piece, plus 2 sixths, 2 of this type of puzzle piece is 5 of this type of puzzle piece. This is your answer, 5 sixths. Visually, you can say 1, 2, 3 of these things plus 2 of these things, and I'm going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixths. The sixth one, it's missing, so this is only 5 of these sixths. Let's go over one last one just to make sure that we can do this. Okay. This one might have been a little bit tricky. 14 thirds minus 9 fifths. 14 thirds minus 9 fifths. These thirds can't become fifths easily. They're going to go thirds or sixths or ninths or twelfths or 15ths. And the fives are going to go up. The fifths could become fifths or tenths or 15ths. So there we have the smallest thing is 15ths. So these thirds are going to split into 15ths, and these fifths are going to split into 15ths. That means we're going to have to multiply this times 3 to get 15. And we're going to have to multiply this times 5 to get 15. And now we have this same number, 15ths. Now we're dealing with the same type of puzzle piece. But we can't just break the bottom up. We also have to break the top up. If I have 9 fifths and then the fifths suddenly become 15ths, I'm going to have a lot more 15ths because the fifths were a lot bigger. We split each one of these fifths into 3, so we're going to have to split the 9 of those into 3 as well. So each of these split into 3. So I'm going to end up with 9 times 3, or 27 15ths. So I will put this in parentheses. I'm going to bring this down here just to make it easier so we can see this. We now have 27 15ths. And what's going over here? We had 3 times 5 is 15. If I did that on the bottom, I'm going to have to do the same number on the top, 14 times 5. That's going to be a big number. So let's say these are 15ths. And what is 5 times 14? We'll start here. 5 times 4 is 20. Put a little 2 up there. That's going to be 20. And 5 times 1 is 5 tens, plus 2 tens is 6, 7 tens. So this is going to be 70 15ths. 70 15ths minus 27 15ths. Now it's not that hard. Now it's just 70 of this type of puzzle piece minus 27 of this type of puzzle piece is how many of this type of puzzle piece? Well, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say that this is not 0, but 10, because I'm going to borrow a 10 from here, and we'll turn this into 60 instead of 70. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I end up with 3 there. And 2 tens, we're going to take that away from 6 tens. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. That leaves us with 43. So our answer is 43 15ths. Now, 43 15ths is, I will accept that. That is correct. That's an improper fraction because it looks something like this. 1, this is 15. Let's say it's broken up into 15 pieces. 15 pieces, so this is one hole. And then there's another hole here, and there's another 15 pieces. Okay, this is 2 holes. So this is 15, 16, 17, 18, 30. And then I have another 13 pieces. 13/15. So this actually, if we take this improper fraction, we can take 15 out of here once, twice, leaves us with 13 pieces left. So I have 2 wholes and 13/15. And that is our answer as a mixed number. All right, that's all I got. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good luck with your homework.